Ogbo took a deep breath. I spoke with Amadi today, my wife. He suggested something hard to think about. He believes that with the way things are going, we should consider keeping the elephant for its meat. We are struggling, Peshe. The village is struggling. Once upon a time, in the heart of an expansive African savanna where the sun kissed the earth and the breeze whispered through the Acadian trees, lay a humble village. The villagers lived in a harmony with nature, and their days were filled with rhythms of the land. Among them was a young woman named Peshe, known for her gentle nature and resilience. Peshe and her husband, Ogbo, were eagerly anticipating the birth of their first child. Living in a small, close-knit village surrounded by the vast African savanna, their days were filled with anticipation and preparation for the new arrival. The villagers shared their excitement, often stopping by their mother's home to offer blessings and gifts for the baby. Peshe was known for her strength and resilience, qualities she had inherited from her mother and grandmother. Despite being heavily pregnant, she insisted on helping Ogbo with the farm work. She felt a deep connection to the land, a bond that brought her peace and comfort. One early morning, as the dew still clung to the grass and the first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Peshe set out to the farm. The air was cool and fresh, filled with the songs of birds welcoming the new day. Peshe carried a small basket, her steps deliberate and steady. She enjoyed the quiet moments in the early morning, feeling at one with nature. The day progressed peacefully. Peshe moved through the rows of crops, tending to each plant with care. She paused occasionally to rest, feeling the baby's shift within her. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Peshe felt the first bang of labor. At first, they were faint, merely a whisper of what was to come. She paused, leaning against a sturdy bamboo tree, and breathed deeply, trying to remain calm. The contractions became more frequent and intense. Peshe realized that she was far from the village and without assistance. Panic threatened to overtake her, but she focused on her breathing and the rhythmic sound of the savannah. She knew she needed to stay calm for the sake of her baby. As Peshe's labor intensified, a rustling in the bushes caught her attention. She turned her head slowly and saw a majestic elephant emerging from the forest. The elephant, with its large, gentle eyes and slow, deliberate movements, seemed to sense her distress. It approached her cautiously, extending its trunk in a gesture of reassurance. Peshe was both amazed and frightened. Elephants were known to be wise and empathetic creatures, but she had never been this close to one before. The elephant's presence, however, was calming. He stood beside her, offering silent support as her contractions grew stronger. With each wave of the pain, the elephant seemed to understand, using his trunk to gently steady her and provide a sense of stability. Hours passed, and as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the savannah, Peshe gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She held her newborn close, tears of joy mingling with the sweat of labor on her face. The elephant, now a guardian in her eyes, watched over them with a serene gaze. Exhausted but elated, Peshe knew she needed to return to the village. The elephant, sensing her resolve, used its powerful trunk to stand her up and supported her as they made their way back home. The journey was long, but the elephant's presence gave Peshe the strength she needed to keep moving. As they approached the village, The sight of Peshe, her newborn, and the elephants drew a crowd. The villagers, initially in awe, quickly recognized Peshe and rushed to assist her. They marveled at the extraordinary scene before them, whispering prayers of thanks and admiration. Ogbo, who had been anxiously awaiting the news, was overjoyed to see his wife and child safe. He embraced them tightly, tears of relief streaming down his face. The elephant, feeling a deep connection with the family, decided to stay. It became a beloved member of their household, assisting Peshe with daily tasks and providing a sense of security. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Peshe, her baby, and the elephant grew stronger. The village thrived with the elephant's presence, and his gentle nature won the hearts of many. The elephant played with the children, helped with heavy liftings, and even seemed to understand the rhythms of village life, participating in their daily routines with a quiet grace. The villagers often marveled at how seamlessly it had integrated into their community, becoming an indispensable part of their lives. However, as time passed, Ogbo's thoughts began to darken. The village had experienced a poor harvest and resources were becoming scarce. Food was harder to come by, and meat was a luxury many could not afford. One afternoon, while Ogbo was working in the fields with his friend Amadi, they began to discuss the growing scarcity. Amadi, known for his pragmatic but sometimes ruthless nature, voiced his thoughts. Ogbo, I can't help but notice how our situation has worsened. We are struggling to feed our families, yet you have a large source of meat living right in your home, he said, nodding towards the direction of Ogbo's house where the elephants often stayed. Ogbo looked up, surprised. You mean the elephant? But he saved Peshe's life and helped bring our son into the world, he replied, shaking his head at the thought. Amadi sighed. I don't understand. Well, anyway, I understand that. But think about it. We are in a dire situation. That elephant could feed the entire village for weeks. It's a hard decision, but sometimes survival requires difficult choices. Think about it. Ogbo was troubled by Amadi's words. He respected his friend's opinion but was torn by the immoral implications. That evening, as he returned home, Amadi's suggestion weighed heavily on his mind. He watched the elephant gently rocking their baby to sleep with its trunk, and his heart clenched with conflicting emotions. That night, after their evening meal, Ogbo whispered to Peshe, careful not to wake the baby. Peshe, we need to talk, he began, his voice filled with hesitation. Peshe looked at him, sensing the seriousness in his tone. What is it, Ogbo? She asked softly. Ogbo took a deep breath. I spoke with my friend today, Amadi. He suggested something hard to even think about. He believes that with the way things are going, we should consider keeping the elephant for its meat. We are struggling, Peshe. The village is struggling too. Peshe's eyes widened in horror. Ogbo, my husband, no! The elephant saved me, saved our son. How can we consider such thing? Her voice trembled with emotion. Ogbo reached for her hand. I know, Peshe, believe me, I know. But look around us. People are hungry. Our son will grow up in this scarcity. It's not just about us, it's about the whole village. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices for the greater good. Peshe was torn. She had always honored her husband's wishes, believing in the unity and strength of their marriage. Yet, the thought of betraying the creature that had shown them such kindness was unbearable. She looked into Ogbo's eyes, seeing the tumor mirrored in his gaze. Days passed, and Ogbo continued to gently press the issue. Each time, Peche felt his resolve weaken. The pressure of their situation pressing heavily on her heart. She spent long nights wrestling with her conscience, staring at the sleeping form of the elephant through the window. It had become part of the family, and the thought of losing it filled her heart with dread. One particular difficult evening, Ogbo brought it up again. Peche, my wife, we need to decide now. I know it's hard, but we cannot ignore the reality. I need you to trust me on this, he said, his voice gentle but firm. Peche hesitated, tears welling in her eyes. She wanted to oppose Ogbo, to stand firm against the idea, but she found it hard to voice her dissent. She had always trusted his judgment and found it difficult to contradict him. Finally, with a heavy heart, she nodded slowly. If you truly believe this is what's best for us, then I will not stand in your way, she whispered, her voice barely audible. The elephant, ever vigilant, overheard their conversation. It felt a profound sorrow, realizing the danger it now faced. Before dawn broke, the elephant silently left the village, disappearing into the wilderness. When Peche awoke and discovered the elephants gone, her heart ached with regret and guilt. Peche's sorrow was profound. She felt she had betrayed the trust of a noble creature that had saved her life and embraced her family. The villagers shared her grief, lamenting the loss of their gentle giant. Peche, in particular, found it hard to forgive herself. She wandered the savannah, hoping to catch a glimpse of the elephant, to apologize and express her gratitude once more. Ogbo, seeing his wife's distress, realized the gravity of his suggestion. He too mourned the elephant's departure and sought to make amends. He promised Peche that he would never allow such thoughts to cloud his judgment. As years passed, the tale of Peche, Ogbo, and the elephant became a cherished legend in their village. It was a story of trust, of betrayal, and the enduring bond between humans and the natural world. Peche's son grew up hearing the tale, understanding the importance of compassion and the value of every life. Though the elephant never returned, its memory lived on in the hearts of the villagers. Peche, with time, found peace knowing that the elephant had left an indelible mark on their lives. The savannah and its endless horizon and the whispers of the wind held the spirit of the elephant, a attestation to the extraordinary bond it shared with a humble village and a woman named Peche. The moral of the story is to always be kind and be thankful to those who help us. Never betray a friend, and always do what you know is right, even when it is hard.